Hello everybody, Robert Marzullo here, and I'm getting ready to work on another page to the Blackstone Eternal comic book, and I just wanted to show you, this is already kind of digitally penciled, even though some of the lines are dark or whatever. Looks like looks like it's been inked in some way, but it really isn't. I just tend to do that when I'm trying to get some of my darker lines down, and maybe if I was handing this off to an inker, I would do it a little bit differently. But since I'm going to be the one inking over it, I just do what feels right for what I'm going to have to translate later. So basically, I take this layer. Now, the layer with the sketch on it, I convert that to a blue line. I'll do that now. And then the outer regions, or the two borders that you see, the one that's kind of the blue line border here, and then the black there, those represent the areas of transition where I can draw into this blue here. But this black edging that I've got labeled down, the reason why I made it solid black is that's no man's land. That's where it's going to get cropped off, so nothing there is going to work. And even your balloon areas, or even the way that I've got this laid out, needs to be brought in a little bit. My balloon area, speech bubbles would stay inside this clear area, maybe a little bit into this area, but not much. I mean, you don't want to play around with that too much. The art can flow into that area, but nothing that's pertinent to the story that you're not worried about losing. Like even his hand here, I can probably go there just because the knuckles are barely bumping up to the edge where it's going to get cropped off. But to me, I kind of picture that right into here, you're going to get a little bit of the area where the book comes together, so you're going to lose a little bit even more visibility of that scene. So I might bring that in a hair, but these panels up top here definitely have to be brought in. But luckily when I ink these as separate layers, so I can kind of finagle them, move them around, do what I got to do. So what I'm going to do is start setting this up. I'll add another layer for my inking process here, and I'll kind of pick my pen here and start dinking around, make sure that's the right, that's the pen I want right there. And what I'll do is, now this is on a separate layer, I'll go in here and start inking this, and just fill in the darks here and start drawing my lines in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and stop the speech portion of this. I'm going to speed through the inking process so that you can see it in a time-lapsed format. And then at the end of it, I'll go ahead and talk about things I might have bumped into and that you would have seen while I did this. And let me know if you have any questions, if you see something in particular that interests you, and what I can explain in more detail. And I'll speak to you at the end of this video too, so go ahead and stick around and watch this time-lapse portion. Okay, so there's the first panel, and seeing that went pretty quick, so I'll explain what I did there. Just filled in the blacks, traced everything out, dropped the blacks in, did some line weight and some feathering, and all that is really, just as long as you have a tablet, it's just the ability to do a thick to thin line like this, where you push harder and then lighter, and you get your thick to thin. But then past that, I do a lot of feathering too, so I'll kind of show that real quick. I'll grab white here. That's the other thing I like a lot about this. I can come back with white. Now that's just a tiny little thick to thin pull like that. But then if I come into here and say I want to feather some lines out to kind of match that point that's finishing off, you'll notice that almost every time I do a few lines. And I'm not even really putting a lot of pressure, but each time I come back to the beginning of the line, I put a little bit more pressure, and that's how I feather the lines. So just sometimes I'll do a little lighter line as a crosshatch like that. And you'll notice too when I'm doing this stuff, I actually don't even like that for some reason. I'm gonna back that out. I'll zoom in and out of the design to see what lines kind of resonate and see which ones I think add to it instead of take away from the piece. And you know, if I feel it needs some tweaking, then I'll keep doing that. So okay, so there's the first one. Keep watching, and I'll speed through the next one. Oh, one last thing about this. This was on a separate layer, actually two. I started doing my cross hatching on another layer also, so I'll combine those now. And let's see here. Oh, no, wrong way. I'm trying to combine them. Huh. Well, I've got them linked together, so right there. So now I'm able to grab this inked panel, maneuver it into my safe area there a little bit more. You know, but I'll do that last. So as I'm inking this, I'll go ahead and first I want to keep it over top of the original line so I can see where I'm going with this. But by keeping on that separate layer, I can maneuver it and get it just where it needs to be. So okay, keep watching, and I'll finish up the rest of this video. Thank you. Okay, so here's the finished product some hours later. Fortunately for you, you didn't have to sit there and watch the real length of time it took me to scribble in all these details. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. It's done, and on to the next page. Well, I still got to drop in my word balloons, obviously, and just to give you a brief description of what's going on here. This is the first page of book two. Blackstone kind of awakens from what happens at the end of book one. Close up on the eye for the dramatization of it. As he starts to think to himself, okay, what happened? He starts to get his focus back. Sees his hand down on the ground. He picks himself up. He thinks possibly this alien that attacked him, maybe it was a bit of a dream or it's gone. And last panel, he comes to the realization this thing's still on him, and now he's got to deal with that. So uh, that's all I'm gonna explain for now. You kind of have to hopefully pick up the book or follow it online or do whatever to get the rest of it. But this shows you how I'd go about inking a page like this, and hopefully it gave you a little bit of insight and just at least show you the style that I go for when I do it. I'm not a totally proficient inker. I'd rather just pencil the stuff, but since I didn't have access to an inker and I can't seem to find a good one, I just do it on my own, get it done. Like I said, it's not uh, the greatest by my standards of what I perceive a great anchor to be, but I think I can do a sufficient job and get it done. So that's what matters. So thanks very much. Be sure to like the video, share it, amongst the art community, stuff like that. Be sure to subscribe, and if there's anything that you'd like to see in the future, let me know. And check back soon for more Blackstone videos and comic book illustration videos. Thanks very much for watching today, and take care. Bye bye.